Hello everybody, welcome to Indigo Tarot Odyssey. I'm actually going to be on camera today because I had all the equipment all set up and I was doing some counseling on camera too, so I hope this is in focus. So today's read is going to be about what message does Spirit and our guides really want to resonate with us. Mine this morning, I heard it crystal clear right when I woke up. I was having all these really crazy, tumultuous dreams that were like really messing with my equilibrium, and like I felt really adrenalized when I woke up. I knew I had a lot on my platter and conference calls and a bunch of things. So right away, I heard, as soon as I took a deep breath, listen to what brings you joy. So right away I went on and I listened to a couple of my favorite YouTubers and I had a cup of coffee and I just stopped. And it was so miraculous because it just elevated my mood. It erased all the to-do list that was either reality or my ego-driven, checklist, you have to do this and that, or other people's agenda. Now this is really important. I didn't realize oftentimes we wake up with other people's agendas in our psyche, whether it's a husband, a wife, a child, or whatever. I need a ride here, I want you to do this, I need this done, can you take care of that, whatever it is, household. And what happens is it all gets tucked in the back of our mind, and the second we wake up, it starts to avalanche and waterfall on us. So we need to calm that. We need to calm that wave to get to a place where things feel manageable, peaceful, calm, and then we can check them off once by one. So I just wrote once upon a time, one by one. So I'm always talking about affirmations and working in threes. So I actually made a list this morning and I feel like this helps. So everything you do and say has value. Oftentimes it's like I'll have affirmations if I have to, speak to a large group or something's going on, I will remind myself of this. This reminds me also to research and really know what I'm talking about. If it has, medical terminology, to simplify it for people. A lot of psychological facts are so overwhelmed and so over wordy, so I simplify that. Another thing for all of us, self-expression, individuality, and authenticity always. That should always come first. I was just speaking to a friend of mine. I was talking about how I went to the next town over, and the town always freaks me out. I actually think that the what was that, Valley of the Dolls or Stepford Wives or whatever one of those remakes were, when Nicole Kidman and Glenn Close were actually filmed in some of these towns over. And there's a town near me where people actually operate like that. They dress the same, they talk the same, they drive the same cars, they speak the same. It freaks me out. It's very like I don't know, like robotic, and it makes me uncomfortable because there's very little authentic things there. Like individuality is just crushed into this weird vat of everybody acting and talking the same. So this is very important. When you wake up, remember there is only one you, and it's so important to have that you be you at all times, right? I mean, I dress crazy. Look what I'm wearing. I'm wearing like a Chinese overcoat and I don't care. Know you are always supported and loved, even when it isn't obvious. Now, I'm trying to train myself not to wear my glasses when I don't need them. And this, let me give you a for instance. If you're in a large group and people are so self-involved at times that they don't even know they're doing this, that they will completely be dismissive, or instead of being inclusive and, hey, come to our group and I want to make you feel good, and being loving and caring, they can be dismissive or give you a look, but always know that you're loved and supported. So today's read, I'm actually going to do it's not going to be a pick a card, but I'm just going to ask Spirit what messages are meant from you. And I'm using these gorgeous, I love these chakra reading cards. I get really good messages from them. I feel really, I just felt really compelled to do this reading right now. I had my stuff out and I was like, you know what, you should do a reading, and you should do it on camera, because I like to see different formats of my favorite readers. I like to see them on camera, I like to see them off camera. Now your first message is spiritual awakening. A lot of you guys are experiencing things, and I can feel this too, and a lot of my clients are going through this. When we have a spiritual awakening and it's time for these huge quantum things where things happen, we feel there'll be weird things going on. Like you will feel an insane need to clear clutter, to start to organize yourself, whether systematic, how you run your day. You're basically trying to, on the interior and exterior of your life, clear clutter so you can see, so you have room, so you can create a void, so all the good things can come in, all the new understandings of how things work, that they really are much simpler than we give them credit for. People too, the things that they need and want are much simpler than we think. They want love, affection, attention, and to really be heard. It's funny, if you ask people on their top 10 list of what they want in so many medical studies and psychological studies, it's to authentically be heard, really, really be heard and listened to, where people aren't distracted looking on their devices, or just when you're talking about it's kind of going in and out, but to really, really listen. Because in these spiritual awakenings, we're more attuned to that. We understand if people really hear us and if they want to understand us. And when we don't, we take it personally. And we need to stop internalizing what other people think about us, really, unless it's people we really love and they're in our immediate circle and we want that connection. It shouldn't be important, other people's opinions of us and or how engaged or disengaged they are. If they're disengaged, we don't need to spend time speaking to them, right? I value what I have to say, and if I'm having a conversation with somebody and they can't be bothered to make eye contact, I turn right on my heel and I leave. I don't even say why I'm leaving. I just do it, because it's like I'm not just talking to talk. And most time people on a social thing, it's like people want attention, but they don't necessarily want to hear what you're saying. And I find that very selfish when people will ask, oh, could you help me out? I need this and that. And when you start to speak, they're distracted by everything else going on. So again, in the spiritual awakening, you're going to notice those things. You're going to notice whether people are really connecting to, because you feel their energy. And it can be rather insulting if you're sensitive and they're not. I'm completely immune to that now, but there were times where I would feel bad if I was speaking to somebody and I find their eyes wandering or their eyes glazing over, even if it was totally about them, which usually it was, but all it was just attention seeking. They want power, they want attention, they want focus on them, but they're so out of it and so narcissistic that they don't even realize what's happening. And in spiritual awakening, we're very sensitive to that energy, and just know, start this clearance of clutter. You'll feel so good. I'm starting to do this now too. I'm starting to streamline, getting rid of things that I don't need. I'm starting to, and you can refocus your energy in such a good way. Yeah, I love this. Personal power. You're going to be taking back your personal power. Oftentimes what happens before spiritual awakenings, and we're really, really plugged into who we are, we give away so much of our power, right? We will agree to things we don't really want to agree to. We will give our time away. We'll give our focus, our energy, our resources away to people, places, and things that are undeserving of it. Now I am super plugged in. I don't know when it really happened. It must have been in the last year or so. I'm super plugged into who is deserving and who is not of my energy. And you'll hear certain people go, oh my gosh, Melanie is so generous. I mean, she'll give me this, she'll give me that. And like some people, it's funny, if I feel they're deserving, I'll just know, I'll give them the world. I have so much stuff, I'm happy to share it. I mean, I am a jeweler. I have every crystal, jewel, and gem. And if I feel like sharing with you and I have the time, I will send you. And if you're some of my mentors that I'm sending cards to and other things, they will be on their way within a day or two. I had an influx of so many private reads that I just caught up on. So those things for my mentors, for your materials coming to you, they are on the way. That's what I mean. When I feel that people are deserving and they are kind, I'm very generous with them, as should you be, when you can determine who deserves this attention, resources, and whatnot. And I feel like personal power is huge with that. Because so oftentimes we can give so much of our resources, time, and attention. We get depleted and tired for when it really matters, for our endeavors, for our hobbies and things that we love to do, or our family time, right? I don't give so much out socially now or to others. It's like I've come more inward towards my family now that it's summertime and Hagen is home and stuff. I love spending time with them, the animals. I'm like a homebody. I actually love my home. Lots of times I don't even want to leave it. And that's your personal power that you're stepping into, is also saying, what is important to me right now? What is going to serve what's going to serve my highest self? What's going to make me feel good, bring me up, open those doors to creativity, opportunities, and people I love, and make you feel good and make you feel worthy. Because remember, personal power is about that inner dialogue as well, where we say, you are valuable. People love you, care for you. Spirit, source, all these entities are out there. They're backing you, and you are supported and loved so much, even when it isn't obvious. That's such an important thing. I'll always have that sticker on there, that is really true. You are always loved and supported, and you'll be cared for, and you have to look for that and be around people that you feel that from, because spirit will always love and protect and guide you. But it's nice to have human beings that do that as well, right? And they will help you lift up in your personal power. Now it's like I can't now I'm going to pretend I can see without these. Understanding. I feel like right now you're going through a phase of greater understanding. of yourself, of your values, of your purpose, the direction you want to go in. Now, one of the biggest obstacles that we have to overcome in this is that we have to realize that our points of view are going to vary greatly from other people. How we feel, if we're sensitive, is going to vary greatly from other people. Where we want to put our focus and our energy can differ greatly from family members. But again, we don't ever feel, at least personally, I don't do this anymore. I never argue my agenda. I'm simply going to do it. If it's important to me and it's first and foremost in my mind, like if I have a person that is in jeopardy and their PTSD or something is going on of that ilk that's really important, and everybody wants to go out bike riding, I can always feel what's most important, and I do not ever try to argue my perspective. I just do it. I say, that's very nice, I'll catch up with you, or this and that, but I have this to do. I never explain myself. That's something I'm hearing too, understanding this particular card is about. Don't ever feel the need to explain yourself to anybody. What's important to you is authentically important to you and matters. You should go ahead and do and make time for, and it's nobody's business why you want to do it, when you're going to do it, or how you're going to do it. It is simply your energy, resources, yourself, your heart, your soul. So always do what you want to do. Never feel guilty. Some of us have gotten into that subconscious pattern of just being givers. And my whole life I've always given, to the point of sometimes to my own detriment. I would drive people way the hell out of my way after work and be exhausted when I got home and not have time to make jewelry, tarot, do anything that I loved, until I kind of got that message from Spirit that they would give me really obviously clues. Like I would always be so busy listening to these particular people, and then one time I noticed when I went to speak and I was giving somebody a ride home, they immediately flipped on their phone and started texting somebody, and I realized what I have to say to them and what I'm doing is unimportant. I am a huge ear for them and a set of wheels to drive them home. The second I noticed that, guess who was unavailable to drive you anymore or listen to your problems? That's what I mean. When there's no reciprocity, that's the understanding you're going to have as well. Value your time and who you give it to. And once you notice those things, and it doesn't even have to be blaring. Sometimes it does because you're so busy giving, you don't even notice that, but you're going to have a greater understanding of how energy works in the exchange of it. And that's important because then you don't waste yours and you have it for yourself when it's necessary and important. Psychic development. This is another one for a huge group of you guys. And, wow, there's so much with clairaudience, which is hearing, clairsentience, just knowing, clairgustance, when you actually taste things, you can smell things. There's a whole repertoire of extrasensory perceptions that a lot of us naturally have and we're born with. But we do need to develop them, and I'm serious, and I am not exaggerating when I say once you start to work on one, the other ones show up and they're magnified and they're amazing and they help you so much. I have to times feel like I don't even know, is it Nemo in the Matrix or whatever his name is? When he's in there and he can read the language of that. I feel like I'm reading another language when I'm out in public, and I can navigate it so much more simply, and it takes so few words to get what I need. It takes so few maneuvers, and I find if I just watch the temperature of the room and I imply emotional intelligence, like I went to this fun thrift store today and I saw the ladies talking, and I realized, they were trying to express themselves to each other, but they obviously were too familiar with one another, and they were talking over each other, and they just really wanted someone to hear them. So when I went up to my area of the counter, I just reiterated what one woman was saying that she was excited about. And she just, as soon as she got it off her, she looked so happy and so relieved that somebody really heard it, because we know what that means, right? And that's part of the psychic development. You're going to understand who wants to express what to you. And once they communicate it, they are highly grateful for that. And it's a wonderful practice to have in business and in your family, because people feel like once they're really heard, it's such a weight lifted. It's like other people care. Nobody's navigating in this universe alone, that they have people that care, and what they have to say is important again. And then it becomes an exchange of really good, warm energy that helps people function on a better level, because they feel like, okay, yeah, I'm not just out here spinning my wheels. And there's all kinds of gifts that are going to come to you that are really remarkable. Almost like just weird, simple things, like you'll know you don't need a certain, like you'll realize when you get in your car, like maybe I need gas. Then you'll look down and you'll realize you need gas. You'll be thinking something, and I always try to guess something before I go somewhere. Like, I'm going to guess, what color is my friend going to be wearing? What is going on with this? You just practice, and these psychic abilities come up. But one of the most important things is using your emotional intelligence in these things to read how somebody is feeling, to promote empathy. And there are ways to protect yourself from other people's energies, and I'm actually going to do like a whole program on that, because it is important, where you can deflect that energy, because nobody's anxiety should get attached to you, nobody's sense of urgency should get attached to you. There's always a way to remove that from you. Besides just crystals and stones, I'm talking about how to really have the mental understanding, where you can have the inner dialogue that says, this does not belong to me, this person is anxious and or they're critical, this does not belong to me, and you can remove it, and your psychic abilities will help you with that. And it's important, because then you carry a clearer line of where you're going. Your path is fettered by other people's garbage. You know what I mean? You have a clear road and a clear path to go, and that's really, really important. So I'm going to pull on more. It's funny, my voice is hurting. I just did a conference call this on. This is going to play an important part, and always should, in our life. Family. That's where our focus, our hearth, our home, everything should be. And when we walk in that door, I always call it the warm-up. The warm-up is you smile as soon as you get in the door. You're happy to see these people. You're delighted. You're related to them. You love them. You produced them if you're a mom. And especially it's important for our children, because our kids are so attached to us in so many energetic levels, that when we smile and we put that face on that says, I love you and I'm so happy to see you. Like, I am such a soppy, emotional person about my two kids, that I want to cry just sometimes at the beauty of them, and how they are, and how great they are, and amazing they are, and thoughtful and sweet and kind. Their names are India and Hagen, and Indy's 18, and her birthday's in a couple days, and Hagen is a Leo, and they are both just expressive, hilarious human beings. They get the best sense of humor. I was glad my mom was like ridiculous. She's more like Bette Midler than like Bette Midler. It's crazy, just like that. So strong, but very funny, very together, and amazing. And it's like that transferred down to them, because they are hilarious, and I am always genuinely happy to see them, and we need to project that to them, right? That warm up when we walk in the door, and that response that you get from them by showing them that love. And I feel like family sometimes can be forgetful of one another's sensitivity to each other, right? So we should always have that calm voice and sweetness towards them, because they look for, especially as parents and adults. And also just patience, because people get so busy with their lives and the things they're doing, that sometimes we forget to say, hey, what's going on? How's your day going? I can tell by the look on their face if something's wrong right away. Oh, what happened today? Can I help you out in any way, right? Always let them know, and have patience. Like, I put down whatever I'm working on when they want to come into my room, office, or wherever I am, and I can tell to discuss something. That's first and foremost. Our family should be first and foremost, right? And always be inclusive with all the best news. I call it hot off the press stuff. What's ever hot off the press, they get to hear first. Any big news, any milestones in my life, in whatever is happening on, or like a big breakthrough with any person, place, or thing. It's like, include them and make them feel, really connected to you. So yeah, that's definitely a big one. I love these cards too. The back of them are rainbow. They're really, really beautiful. So I want to come on camera too and just thank you guys. Thank you for watching my channel. Thank you for supporting me. Your beautiful comments. I'm finally catching up on them. I've done the last 3 days this morning. That's one of my favorite things. And I was like, I didn't understand why I hadn't been doing them. And I wasn't going to bed till late, and I was like, do those as soon as you wake up. They make you feel so good. That used to be in my repertoire first thing, because I appreciate you guys so much, and I feel the love, and I feel your breakthroughs, and I feel like it's an amazing feeling to feel that you're supporting somebody else's growth and their realization of what amazing human beings that you guys are, and you guys are doing amazing things, and you're realizing that there's nothing more important out there than your mental health, your physical health, and feeling like you're able, and knowing through inner dialogue that you can accomplish anything, you can be anything, go anywhere, do anything. And I don't just make this stuff up. I live it, and I talk as I live it, and I go through bigger and better milestones every week, because as soon as I actualize the fact that I don't have to work for other people or diminish myself in any way, shape, or form to make other people feel better, you just start to grow. We're all unique individuals. We don't or should not compare ourselves to anybody, because there's only one of each of us, and we're all uniquely individual, and we just grow from that and learn. And my whole purpose now is to just always come from a heart space, always show love, always show gratitude, wake up with gratitude, get grounded, we're none of these things out in the world that have to do with, you know, materialism. We're souls connecting on an energetic level, and once we understand that, things become so basic and simple. They really do. And then we function at a lovely, really mellow level, and sometimes we just have to remind ourselves of that. So I want to just come on camera and say, you know, patrons, thank you for your support. I can't believe you guys, with your patience when certain things are going on, and your support and your humor and your loveliness, and everybody out there doing their things, you know, Stasia, Lisa, all the Stephanies. I always look forward to hearing from all of you, and my time stampers. I adore you and love you guys. Thank you. You know, you guys, the way you contribute and support me. Sometimes I forget I have this amazing support system, and then I literally just break down crying because it's so wonderful. So I just want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for everything you do to help me get up and live my dream and find some answers for you and see your beautiful breakthroughs. It's insanely excellent. That's all I can say, and it's so wonderful. So namaste, you guys, and I am going to upload this. P.S. I'm in my son's room. He has a crazy red chair because he's a little office man.